What's up, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? It's TK, and you're watching No Bullshit News. And the news came out here about 40 minutes ago that a life in New York City that was murdered by the New York Police Department is worth $5.9 million. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and just get into this so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of ridiculous to have to see this stuff, man. It really it really it really blows me away that they get away with this just blatant out and out murder, man. I'm sorry. Some people are going to tell me, and I know I'm going to have people that come on here and tell me that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about and I should shut my fucking mouth. Well, for those people that have that thought process, you can go fuck yourself, because I really don't care. I want to make sure that it's actually sharing the image and stuff with you guys. So this may take me a second to get in here to make sure it is showing you what I want to show you, and I can't guarantee that it is, and it doesn't look like it is. So I'm gonna stop that one for a second, and I just want to make sure I can show you guys a couple of images and stuff so you guys can get an idea of what is actually going on, and an idea of what the deal is, basically. Here we go. So we got full screen. So now I should be able to get over here and you guys should be able to see the following. Yes, there we go. All right. So look at this image, man. I think this image, and the video is available online. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I think this image says a lot for who we are as a society and where we're at. And, this is not new. This happened after the Mike Brown shooting outside of St. Louis. And it's just really bad. But let's go ahead and get into what the New York Times is talking about the settlement. Let's get into some of the details. So basically, New York City reached a settlement on Monday with the family of Eric Garner, agreeing to pay $5.9 million to resolve the claim over his killing by the police. Now, and here's the thing, right, with the New York Times. I would say murder. I wouldn't call it a killing. Yes, I know that this fucking piece of shit didn't get indicted in Staten Island by a grand jury, but we also saw that fucking jackoff in St. Louis didn't get indicted either. And here's the wonderful thing. I mean, here's the thing, though. This was on video. This is almost as plain as what we saw in South Carolina with the cop shooting the other gentleman in the back. This is really no different. They're choking him. And this is what drives me nuts about that shit with the grand jury. The cop blatantly violated NYPD policy and choked the fucking man out. You're not supposed to do that. I don't give a fuck how big the guy is. All because he had the balls to sit out there on the sidewalk and sell loose cigarettes. Untaxed cigarettes. You're going to break this fucking guy's balls. Is it illegal? Sure it is. But I want to see the NYPD and these fucking cops do the same thing on Wall Street to those fucking bankers that threw our economy into the goddamn shitter and only paid fines that they did to this guy. What about the billions upon billions upon billions of untaxed money that they got in bailouts because they fucked up our economy? I don't see the NYPD going down there and choking out a white guy in a suit. Not happening. In fact, you'll never see it. And you know what? You're going to say, oh, you're race baiting. Listen, I'm an Irish. I'm about as white and as Irish as they come. So if I'm fucking race baiting, if you think I'm race baiting, you're out of your fucking mind. This blows me away. It was something I had to speak on today, just because, I mean, look, so they will try to perpetrate, let me see if I can get over here. They will try to perpetrate that this guy is some horrible person, and because he was selling loose cigarettes. This is the image I want you to see. This is the Eric Garner that's here with family and, got a smile on his face. Not a bad dude. And before this happened, the guy was doing the right thing. He broke up a fight that was happening on the street. He did the right thing. What do the cops do, though? He's black. He may have cigarettes. they didn't even catch him selling the cigarettes. I don't know if you know that. They didn't even catch him selling the cigarette. Just the fact, that's just what they wanted to use to try to fuck with the guy about it. And, they just made the decision. This guy is being, we don't like the way he's talking to us, or we don't like the way he is, so we're gonna fucking teach this guy a lesson. And that happens in law enforcement across the board. And if you don't think so, you're out of your mind. It's just sad, man. It's just really sad, what we have to see here. And the fact, that this man had to lose his life. And according to the city of New York, it's only worth $5.9 million. Yet these officers can get away with murder. And here's the thing, they got no repercussions. They're not going to be suspended. And here's the other thing too, right? I hope the family fucking sues the EMS, the EMTs or EMS for what the fuck for what this happened here. Because not only did the cops do what they did wrong, and the man was telling them they couldn't breathe, but the EMTs just fucking stood there and did nothing. They didn't give him oxygen. They didn't give him treatment. They looked over, checked his pulse. They didn't really, treat this like it was an issue that was something serious. It's not cool. And I sincerely hope that this doesn't block them from suing them too. I hope the family goes after whoever was running the city's EMS at that point with a vengeance and hammers them for that. So it is what it is, man. It's just ridiculous. Now, to give you some backstory on it, the family last year, Mr. Garner's relatives, including his widow, and I hope I'm saying her name correctly, Esau Garner, with his mother, Gwen Carr, filed a notice of claim. It's a procedural thing that you got to do to proceed with a lawsuit against the city. They were specifically seeking $75 million in damages. Now, I would like to see the family get somewhere near that. They didn't even have, and if you're the city attorney, for you to have the balls to come to them, and they came to them with a lot less offers. I think it was $5 million yesterday or earlier today before 5.9 was settled on. You didn't even have the decency to come to the table with 10%. You settled at less than 10% with these folks because you're a bunch of fucking scumbags. And that's ridiculous. It shouldn't be something that, we see. It shouldn't be something that happened, but it's ridiculous. And here's the thing, because these cops were improperly trained, and I'm going to give them that. I'm not going to just say that they were racist, though we know that's what the real deal is. And the fact that they were just targeting black people in New York. I'm going to give Daniel Pantaleo a pass on that. I'm not going to say he was racist. Let's say he was badly trained and he didn't read the handbook that clearly states several times, don't choke a fucking suspect. But it is what it is. It's really ridiculous. And no, there's going to be no repercussions. Maybe there's a strong union in New York, so the police department isn't even going to be able to hammer the guy or do anything with him. And it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And I can't believe that this guy is actually going to get away with this. It's murder. And I don't care what you call it. Every single officer that was involved in that day committed murder. And you may not like that. You may not like the fact that I'm saying that, or you may not even agree with me on that point. But the facts are facts. What happened to Eric Garner that day was a crime. And it was abuse of power, abuse by the police, and it was murder. It was murder. And I'll stand by that. I'll stand by that to the end of time. I'll stand by that to the end of time. Selling loose cigarettes is not punishable by death. But that's what the NYPD is giving out. You think it's a game? Apologize for that. Lost my mic. There we go. But yeah, they will try to say that, I'm just talking shit. I don't know what to talk about. I live in New York. I live in Brooklyn. And I see this on a regular basis. I've talked about this multiple times about, me driving through, because I have to go through a certain area in Brooklyn before I get to where I live. Okay. And I was going through there one night about, 1:30 in the morning. And you guys that know me from the tech channel, I got the white Jag with the black rims, and it's tinted. Okay. It's within the law. It's legally tinted, but at nighttime it looks dark. Whatever. I got pulled over. All right, in Brooklyn. At the time, I was wearing a suit and tie. I was coming back from a family event in Connecticut. So when I come through, I get lit up. Whoop whoop. And they pull me over. Okay. I get out. You know, they come up to the car, roll down the window. This is literally how this went down. The officer looks in and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Have a wonderful night." What? I wasn't speeding. That much I knew. I was like, maybe I didn't hit a turn signal or something. Maybe they're just trying to check the car. And here's what happened. I happened to be in a black neighborhood in a very nice car, and I got rims on the Jag. So they might have been like, let's see what's up with this dude. And then they pull over and they're like, "Oh, white guy in a suit." Didn't ask me for my driver's license, didn't ask me for my information, and sent me on my way. Now, if you don't think that white people get a pass in America for shit, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know, I've talked about this multiple times, and this happened during, we were live streaming at the time. So this isn't something that's new. Like, people knew that. People saw it and was like, holy shit, they didn't even ask you for your information. They just told you to keep it moving. Pretty much. Now, what would have happened if I'd have been black in the Jag that evening? Would NYPD would have ripped me out of the car? You know, would they had me laying down on the ground? Maybe I didn't like what was going on. Maybe they would have stepped on me or made it where I couldn't breathe. Had I been black? My personal belief? Yeah. And I only can tell you that from other friends that I have who happen to be African-American that live in New York and have to deal with this shit on a daily basis. It's ridiculous. It's uncalled for. And it's not just New York. People are going to say, you're just picking on it because it's New York. No, it's not New York, man. People think because we're up north that we don't have racism. We got racism. You know, I grew up in, you know, part of the time of my life in South Boston, Massachusetts. Probably more racist than Mississippi. And if you think it's not, it's the city is still kind of set that way. Back in the day, they used to call the little section in downtown the combat zone. They called that shit the combat zone because they had the Italians to the north, the Irish to the south, the blacks lived in Roxbury, and the Asians were right there downtown. And when we caught anybody of another race there in downtown, we was beefing. You know, Italians caught me slipping in downtown. I was getting my head cracked that evening. If I got caught in Roxbury by myself, I was getting my ass whooped. And that's how it was. And it's people are going to say, well, that's old school. It's not like that anymore. Bullshit. The cops still come at it that way, man. The North is not a not racist area because we're up north. It just ain't like that. I get that from every person that I talk to in the South. Like, you really don't know about racism. Get the fuck out of here. Of course I do. Of course I do. But this was something I wanted to address today because I want to make sure that people never forget these images. I want to make sure that people never forget who this man actually was and, you know, what we were dealing with here. We were dealing with the man who happened to be out there who did the right thing, broke up a fight, only to have this happen right here moments before the NYPD took his life. And according to these fucking cowards in the city, his life wasn't even worth 10% of that claim. So, hey, man, you can think what you want. You can call me a piece of shit. You can call me a race baiter. You can come at me however you want. Have at it. I don't care. But I'm always going to stand on what I feel is right. And what I feel is the city should have did the right thing here. And they didn't. They didn't compensate this family appropriately. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, this family didn't have shit. They got $5.9 million. You know, fuck that shit. Quit crying. No. Like I said, I said it and I put it in the description here. Would you trade your life for $5 million for your family? Would you allow yourself to be choked to death right now for $5 million? Would you do that? I'm willing to bet that most people that see this are going to say, no, my life is worth more than that. Because listen, life is precious. It's priceless. You can't put a price on it. You can't put a price on it. Now, I know some people are going to be on here. I know I'm going to have racists and other people that are going to come on here and say that Eric Garner was worthless. He wasn't doing shit. He could have stopped something serious from breaking out on the street that day when he broke up that fight. He was doing a public service. He was doing the fucking job of what the New York Police Department should have been doing that fucking day. Not him. But what did he get for it? He got murdered. That's my take. And I think the New York Police Department in the city of New York, at this number that they came at with the family and settled at, is wrong. Let me know what you guys think. You can hit me up in the comments below. Stay tuned. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. And until next time, be safe, man. And if you have any interaction with the police, just don't get killed, man. Just don't get killed. Till next time, this has been No Bullshit News. I'll see you in the next one.